Hi and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me here today. If you are new here, my name is Trish and I love discussing all things beauty. Today I'm going to be talking about the Newa Radiofrequency Device as well as the ZIIP Halo. And the ZIIP Halo is a dual waveform device, so it uses both microcurrent as well as nanocurrent. I'm going to get into the details about that in a little bit. I will let you know that today's video is actually a follow-up on my experience with the Newa Radiofrequency device. I did a pretty in-depth video regarding the Newa about 7 or 8 months ago. So like I said, this is a follow-up on my experience and my thoughts regarding the Newa. In that previous video, I did a demo. I talked about all the details about the Newa. So if you're interested in all the nitty-gritty about the Newa, I would suggest you go back and watch that video of mine. I will be inserting some of that B-roll. And of course, I am going to talk to you about some details regarding the Newa in this video, just as sort of a refresher. But if you want a really detailed discussion regarding the Newa, definitely do go check out that video. And then, like I said, I'm going to be talking about the ZIIP as well. But before I jump into either of these devices, I just wanted to address the fact that I know that things feel really stressful right now regarding our country and the world at large. I'm feeling it. I'm sure that many of you all are feeling that as well. So as I'm sitting down to film this video, and just in the past as well, sitting down to film videos, it has felt a little bit conflicting for me, but I will say, and I was watching a video that AOC did on TikTok, I believe it was just yesterday, and she was saying that during times of stress and, also knowing that there's work to be done, that it's really important to self-regulate, and part of that self-regulation is taking time for yourself for things that help you to relax and stay calm. So I think for all of us, if you're watching this video, skincare and doing these kinds of treatments, whether it's using skincare devices, or even if it's taking time to do some facial massage while you're washing your face, or if you really enjoy applying makeup and you find that time, to be creative with yourself, helps you relax. All of these things, I think, help us take care of ourselves during times of stress. But I did just want to mention that I know this is a stressful time for many people, and my heart goes out to anyone out there who is struggling with feeling safe, or family members are struggling with feeling safe right now, or coworkers, friends. So just thinking about all of you out there, and my heart goes out to anybody, again, who is feeling high stress right now. And I hope you all are able to take some moments of time for yourself to relax. And I also want to mention that I do know that many of you are fans of fragrance and perfume, as you know that I am as well. But I have noticed that my perfume dedicated videos don't do as well as my skincare videos over here on this channel. So I have toyed with the idea of creating a second channel that is just devoted to perfume. So I think I might actually do that. So I don't know how you guys would feel about that. I don't know how well it would do, but I'm just really not that concerned with that. I feel like it might make more sense to just have a dedicated channel when I do my perfume reviews, so that maybe it would get discovered by more people who are really interested in fragrance. And then for those of you who really are interested in fragrance, you could just pop over there to see those fragrance reviews. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. But yeah, I am really thinking about doing a perfume channel and might end up doing that sooner than later. So that's just kind of the housekeeping I wanted to take care of. Let's go ahead and dive into my follow-up regarding the Newa. So just as a quick little overview, this is what the Newa looks like, and it is a radio frequency device. So it has low frequency radio waves that treat the skin's deep layers without damaging the epidermis. And just as a quick overview, the epidermis is the outer layer of the skin, and the Newa device does not target the epidermis. What it does is it targets the dermis. And then as far as the subcutaneous layer, it does not reach that subcutaneous tissue where the fat is, so there is no risk of the fat melting on your face. So you don't have to worry about that fat melting or loss of fat in your face. So there's been been a lot of talk and concern lately about fat melting when you get radio frequency procedures done. But when it comes to the Newa device, you don't have to worry about that because, like I said, this does not target the subcutaneous tissue. There is no concern about it becoming that hot when it comes to this device. So as I said, this only targets the dermal layer, and in addition, there is a safety mechanism that if your skin were to get too hot, the device will automatically shut off. So in addition, there is that safety mechanism to make sure your skin does not get too hot. So what these low frequency radio waves do is it heats up the dermis, which is going to stimulate the production of collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid. Now, it's good to be aware that this takes at least 30 days to start seeing any type of effects, and more realistically, it's going to take months to start seeing any kind of effects. And in that other video that I did, I went through all the cautions and being aware of skin types that it might be more prone for causing melasma. Like for instance, in darker skin tone people, you want to be a little bit more cautious with using radio frequency. So if you want the full details, either go check out that video or be sure to check out the website for the full list of contraindications or just for the precautions to be aware of. Now, in terms of recommended use, they do recommend that for the first month, in terms of the treatment month, you want to use it 4 to 5 times a week. And then for maintenance, you want to use it 1 to 2 times a week. Now, let's go ahead and get into how I used it and how I feel about the effects. What I did is I used it for the treatment month, and this was back in, let's see, I think I wrote it down. Yeah, in July of 2024. I was very diligent in my use of the Newa device. So I used it 4 to 5 times a week for the month of July, I believe it was. I can't remember specifically. It was either June or July. And I think I actually maybe rolled over closer to 5 weeks, so was very consistent with my use. And then I think for about 3 months after that initial treatment month, I did use it 1 to 2 times a week, and then I just kind of tapered off. So let me go ahead and show you my results. So here are pictures of the before, and I really honed in on showing you the marionette lines, you know, the jowls right here. This is definitely my target area. In terms of what I want to focus on, this is the area that I would just like to, you know, tighten up a little bit. So here's the before. And then here's the after. And the after are photos that I just took a few weeks ago. So I do feel like the skin does look a little bit tighter, but it's not anything dramatic. But if I had done it correctly, I would have taken the pictures closer to when I finished the treatment. But this is what I will tell you. I frequently would get kind of annoyed and irritated by the jowls or marionette lines that I have. But after having done the Newa device for those 4 months, I will say that they didn't bother me as much. I just didn't really think about them. So I think I did experience some improvement. And I also do think I experienced improvement just in the overall texture of my skin. I do feel like I got some plumpness from it. And after I would use the device, I feel like I did get an immediate result. I know they say you need to wait for long-term effects, but I definitely would notice a plumping effect after I used it. So overall for me, I do think I noticed a plumping and a tightening in my skin. Now, as I mentioned, it was nothing dramatic. It's not going to be like getting plastic surgery. It's not going to be like getting a facelift. I would say if I had to quantify it, maybe I noticed a 20% difference in, you know, kind of that marionette line, which, you know, as I mentioned in that previous video, I think it's hard for you guys to see on film here just because of the lighting. You know, I'm sitting in front of very large sliding glass doors. So the way the lighting hits me, I don't really get the shadow from those jowls as much, you know, in different lighting. That's why I showed you the pictures from the bathroom, because the way the light hits, they become a little bit more pronounced. But anyway, I do actually think that the Newa Radiofrequency device works pretty well. I would consider the results to be on the mild side. So it's kind of up to you and what your expectations are. Now, I don't want to forget to let you know that right now Newa is having a Valentine's Day sale. So Everything is 20% off until February 13th. And then on top of that, you can use my code, which is Trish15, for an additional 15% off. So if you are thinking about getting the Newa device, now is a good time to get it. No pressure at all. It's just, if you've been thinking about getting the Newa device, now is an excellent time to get it because, like I said, there's the 20% off sale, and then you would get an additional 15% off with my code. So if you've been thinking about it, now is a good time to do it. I personally found it to be helpful, and I did like the results. I think what I am going to do is I am going to use this probably once a year in terms of that treatment month, or maybe not wait a whole nother year. I don't think I'm going to wait until June or July. I think I think June probably would be a good month for me to do this because I'm going to be doing some traveling in May, and I don't think I would be super consistent with it. So June actually would probably be a good month for me to reinitiate that treatment month. So I think moving forward, that's probably how I will use this device, is do the treatment month once a year, follow up with a few maintenance months, and then just kind of see how my skin does. And I will say, I believe in that video, I was talking about possibly wanting to do a clinic treatment of radio frequency. And since I have done this, I don't really feel like I need to do that treatment. That desire has kind of fallen to the wayside. So I also think that speaks highly of this device, that my desire for wanting to do a in-office procedure has really, like I said, that's fallen by the wayside. Let me just show you real quickly here that this is where you place the gel, and this is what the tube looks like. So you just put the gel along here, you turn it on, which is just a little sliding button right here. You'll see the spot here where you turn it on, and then you just press it on right here, and you see it flashing. And then with the gel on, of course, you start rubbing it on your face, and then this light turns green when it's hot enough to be doing its work, and then you just keep it on your face, and then it beeps when you need to move to the next area. So it's super easy to use. And like I said, if you want to see the full demo, go check out my other video, which is very, very thorough. But in a nutshell, the Newa RF device is super easy to use. I do not like devices that are super fussy, that have a lot of bells and whistles, and I found this one super easy to use, especially during that treatment month where I was doing it 4 to 5 times a week. That was not a problem for me at all to complete that. Now let's go ahead and move on to the ZIIP Halo, and this is what it looks like. It's very slim, very lightweight, and I'm going to compare it to the older ZIIP, which I also have, and I'll do that in a minute. But let's go ahead and talk about this dual waveform of the ZIIP. So there's microcurrent and nanocurrent that is emitted from the ZIIP. So the microcurrent, as many of you probably know, is a low-level electrical current that acts on the muscles of the face to make them contract and relax. So that's going to help tone the muscles, giving an immediate lift, and also to help smooth the fine lines. And then this lasts for about 72 hours. So you really have to be consistent in order to get that effect from a microcurrent device. Now, this also, though, has the nanocurrent, which is an even lower electrical current than the microcurrent. And these electrical impulses regulate skin cells to stimulate collagen, elastin, and ATP to reinvigorate and repair your skin from within. So the theory behind the nanocurrent is it's going to give your skin longer term benefits, like the production of collagen and the ATP and the elastin. So the microcurrent is going to give you that shorter term lift that's supposed to last for about 72 hours. And then the nanocurrent is going to be longer term because it helps stimulate that production of collagen, elastin, and ATP. Now, the recommendation for use regarding the ZIIP is 3 times a week, and they have lots of treatments on their app, which I will show you in just a minute because I did film a demo that I'm going to go ahead and show you. And just to let you know before I forget, I do have a code with ZIIP as well, and that is 10% off, and that code is Trish. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and show you the comparison of the old ZIIP with the newer one. So you can see the old ZIIP is not quite as streamlined as the new one, but they do both have the dual waveform technology. So honestly, there's no real reason to get the new one if you already have the old one, unless you really, really want to get the smaller, more streamlined and lightweight Halo. I will say though that the Halo, other than being smaller, more compact, and more lightweight, does have this glowing band around the device that does illuminate when you are contacting the skin. So unlike this one that did not light up when you were touching your face, this one does light up so you know when you are making proper contact with the skin, so you know that the device is actually working. So that is really nice, and I do really appreciate that. The other thing that's different is you turn this device on with this button here, you turn this one on, there's a little button here, so that is a difference. And so you can see there, I don't know if you saw that flashing. And the other thing that's different with the Halo is it is pre-programmed with the 4-minute lift facial. So let me go ahead and show you the demo. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in right now. All right, so I'm gonna be doing my demo, and first of all, to start, I'm gonna make sure that the zip is on. So I just turned it on. And then you have a lot of choices on the app on what you want to target. So there's lips, contour, jowls, depuff, eyes. So I think today I'm going to go ahead and do the jowls. So I already have a little bit of this gel prep on. What do they call it? The ZIIP Electric Complex. So that is basically the conducting gel. I think I'm going to add a little bit more on. And since I'm going to do the jowls, I'm going to be really concentrating on this area here. I also have a mirror down here that I'm going to be looking into every once in a while, just so you know that. So I've got more conducting gel on. So that's what I do. I apply the gel first just to make sure I'm good to go. Then I'm going to tap on the program I want to do. So hitting jowls, starting treatment, and then it syncs. So that's good to go. And you can see her on here. This is Melanie, the founder. And she's just telling me to make sure that we've got enough gel on our faces to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and set this in front of me. And I'm just following her instructions. So she's telling me to pull and hold here. Till I feel that vibration. And then I do it again. She's telling me to move out a little bit more. And feel the vibration. And felt the vibration. Oh, we're saying to go back to where we started. And the intensity is increasing. You can maybe see some of my muscles twitching here. Now that beat means switch sides. So that is done. And just to show you how easy it is to start a new one, just X out of that. And then I can go to the other program. So let's do lips. So I'm going to hit the lips and I'm going to start the treatment, but I'm actually, oh, got to sync it up here. Actually, I need to make sure the zip is on. Just got synced. And I'm going to pause it for a moment because I want to make sure I have plenty of the conducting gel over my lips. And this one I think is just 2 minutes. And I'm going to skip over the initial instructions, which you can do every time. And we're just going to jump right into it. And she's saying to just rock back and forth over the lower lip. And it just beeped, so now I'm going to go to the top, or the upper lip. And she's saying you can focus on one side and then go over to the other. She said you can focus on one side more if you need to. Kind of move over so you can see better. Really, really easy to use. Kind of like how you can freestyle with this one. Oh, and then it's over. And I do believe there are a couple of programs on here that are more conducive to freestyling if you prefer that as well. So hopefully you can see in that demo that it's so easy to use the ZIIP. I love the app on my phone. It's really easy to find which treatment you want to use. Several of them are really, really short. So as you can see at the end, I did the lip one, which is just 2 minutes. So just like I said, super easy to use. And I will say that I do think that the device is efficacious, but it is on the subtle side, very similar to the Newa device. For instance, when I do have puffy eyes and I do the eye treatment, I will notice a subtle depuffing of my eyes, or when I do the contour treatment, which is just right here, I notice a subtle lift after I do it, but I just can't really speak to the long-term effects of the ZIIP because I just haven't been doing any kind of intensive treatment with it. So I tend to reach for the ZIIP when I feel like I need a little bit of a lift or a little bit of an energizing look to my face, and I do really feel like it helps for that. So overall, I really like both devices. I think if you were only to get one of them, you've really got to think about what your skincare needs are. I think if you are really focused on the lower half of your face, then I would go for the Newa. I mentioned this in the more detailed video that I did, but I haven't mentioned it yet in this video. The Newa device has not been studied for the forehead, and I don't think they recommend that you use it on the forehead. And you're also supposed to be very careful around the eyes with the Newa as well. So if you just want to tackle like the jowls and kind of right under your chin, you're not supposed to use it on your neck as well, but you can use it just right under your chin. If this is your area that you are really concerned about, I would go for the Newa because you can really focus on this area, and I think it does a pretty good job tackling that area. Again, it's not like not that I've had a facelift, but I can imagine it's not going to give you the same results as getting like a facelift or maybe an in-office procedure. So you need to have realistic expectations about what it can do for you. But as I've said, if you really want to target this area, then I would go for the Newa, but you have to be very, very consistent with that month treatment and then the maintenance as you see fit. Now, if you want to be able to use a device all over your face, you want it to be more flexible, and you like the idea of having an app where you can pick your treatment and you can kind of vary it from day to day, then I do think the ZIIP would be for you because, as I mentioned, this is a little bit more versatile. It's very easy to use. I think this slim design is a little bit more fun, it's a little bit more sexy. So if this would be more geared to your skincare needs, a little bit more geared towards your lifestyle and what seems like something you would reach for more frequently, then I think the ZIIP would be the way to go. So again, it just kind of depends upon what your needs are, what you're focused on, and of course, what you would be using the most. That would be the one that you should get. So that does it for my follow-up regarding the Newa, which I will say I am definitely pleased with, and then a little bit more on the ZIIP Halo, which I have mentioned using the ZIIP a little bit, here and there on my channel, but now that I have the ZIIP Halo, I've definitely been reaching for this so much more because I do think it is a little bit more convenient than the older one. So that wraps it up. If you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up, and if you have not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would do so. And as I mentioned, I am thinking about starting up a new channel where I talk strictly about perfume, so let me know what you think about that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.